Remember when you were a kid and the world around you seemed a little different than the present? The fashions were different, the fads were different, and even the language expressions and slang we used were different. Things change and evolve as time marches on, sometimes for the better and sometimes for the worse. In this video, we're going to remember 10 of the places, brands, food, and things that existed during our childhoods but are no longer around these days, usually because they are no longer popular and people stopped making money off them. Do you remember these? Let us know what your memories and experiences were in the comments below. Monster cereals. These are a series of cereals produced by General Mills that include Count Chocula, Frankenberry, and Boo Berry. These ones are still around today and are produced and sold around Halloween. There are, however, 2 additional members of the series that used to be available but were discontinued in the 1980s and the 1990s. These were Fruit Brute and Fruity Yummy Mummy. They brought these back in 2013 for a limited release, but were again discontinued in 2014. Discovery Zone. This was the place for kids that was sort of like a Chuck E. Cheese. It had indoor mazes, climbing play structures, and ball pits. It also featured arcade games that issued tickets for redemption at their prize booth. Parents would book birthday parties for the kids at the DZ, as it was called. It filed for bankruptcy in 1996, and by 2001 it had gone out of business completely. Red Barn Restaurants. If you were a kid in the 70s, you would definitely remember these places, with their distinctive architectural style emulating, you guessed it, a red barn. These were dine-in or takeout restaurants that served burgers, fries, and salads, and included about 400 locations in 19 states in the United States, Canada, and Australia. It went defunct in 1988, with many of the buildings still standing and housing other businesses. Blockbuster Video. Blockbuster, the beloved worldwide video rental store. It was extremely popular in the 1990s and 2000s. At its peak, it had over 9,000 locations in 15 countries. A visit to the video store as a kid was a fun and exciting tradition that millions of families indulged in on weekends to pick out those fresh new movie and video game releases or old favorites and spend a fun evening at home together. Mostly all of these closed down by 2014, except for that one location in Bend, Oregon that stubbornly hangs on. Burger Chef. This restaurant chain was started in 1957 in Indianapolis, based on its patented flame broiler burger cooker innovation that could process burger patties at a rate of 13 per minute. They had over 1,000 locations in 1973 at its peak. It was known for its famous Big Chef Double Burger and Super Chef Quarter Pound Burger. McDonald's soon ate its lunch with intense competition, and by 1982 the company was sold to a Canadian company with many Burger Chef locations converted to a Hardee's. Heinz EZ Squirt Colored Ketchup. This artificial dye-colored product was introduced by Heinz in 2000. Heinz EZ Squirt's first color introduced was Blastin' Green and was created as a promotional product tie-in for the first Shrek movie. After an initial success, more colors were added and included blue, purple, and a mystery color which could be orange, teal, or purple. In all, over 25 million bottles of the colored ketchup were sold, but it turned out to be a fad whose popularity eventually cooled with the product being discontinued in 2006. McDonald's McDLT sandwich. Remember when styrofoam packaging seemed to be everywhere in the late 70s and 80s, and most of it came from McDonald's? This product upped their disposable styrofoam game significantly during that time, the McDLT. It was a burger with bacon, lettuce, and tomato toppings that the customer assembled themselves. The packaging separated the meat portion from the topping portion to, as McD's marketing slogan stated, keep the hot side hot and the cool side cool. It was introduced in 1984 and was discontinued by 1991 due to environmental concerns with the packaging. Zany Brainy. Zany Brainy was a United States retail store chain owned by FAO Schwarz that sold educational toys and multimedia products aimed at children ages 4 through 13. The stores were admired for their kid-friendly workshops, appearances by book authors, and concerts that underscored the fun in learning. Zany Brainy indulged in expansion overreach, however, by acquiring a rival toy retailer called Noodle Cadoodle in 2000. The merger would lead to bankruptcy and the end of Zany Brainy in 2001. Foto Mat. These drive-through kiosks were located in shopping center parking lots throughout the US. The company got its start in 1965 in the San Diego area and grew rapidly to over 4,000 locations across the US by 1981. Customers would drive up to the kiosk and drop off camera film for overnight photo finishing or pick up their processed prints. Foto Mat also sold Kodak brand film and other photography-related products. Later on, starting in 1979, the company offered movies to rent on videocassette. By the later 1980s, the business model had become obsolete and the Foto Mat huts closed and were repurposed for other uses or demolished. Tiger Beat magazine. Started in the 1960s, Tiger Beat was an American teen fan magazine created by a former teacher named Chuck Laufer after his female students told him they had nothing fun to read. Laufer filled this void by creating a magazine that combined two themes: young, non-threatening male celebrities and popular music. The stars it focused on back then were David Cassidy, the Monkees, and Donny Osmond. It also created and launched its own musical group that the magazine heavily promoted, the DeFranco family. The magazine soldiered on for decades, with the final newsstand paper edition sold at stores until December 2018, with a Tiger Beat website still online. And that's part one of things from your childhood that are now extinct, that hopefully brought back some good memories. Check back on this channel for an upcoming part 2 for this video where we look at more things from the past that no longer exist. Better yet, click on the subscribe button and turn on notifications so that you get messaged when a new video is released. And thank you for your continuing support. We really do appreciate it.